Why we procrastinate and what we can do about it. Hi there, thanks for joining us for Plain English, lesson number 253. I'm Jeff. JR is our trusty producer, and all of today's episode resources are available at plainenglish.com/253. Procrastination. We all do it to one extent or another, but for about a fifth of the population, procrastination is a real problem. In this lesson, we're going to talk about what procrastination is and why it's so harmful. In Monday's lesson, we'll talk about what you can do about it if you suffer from it. The expression we'll review today is quite appropriate. The expression is buckle down. We have a song of the week, and the video lesson is all about how to use to one extent or to an extent. Let's start by asking, what is procrastination? In the popular imagination, procrastination is just delaying unpleasant tasks. But that's not quite it. We all delay tasks, and not every delay is procrastination. Changing your schedule and delaying certain things can simply be a matter of prioritizing and managing your time. No, procrastination is when you voluntarily delay something that you could very easily do today, even though that delay is going to hurt you in the long run. When you procrastinate, you do intend to do something, but the only thing that stops you from fulfilling your intention is your reluctance to do it. So often, we don't even know we're procrastinating. Or worse, we do know it, but we don't do anything about it. Procrastination is worse than simply delaying an unpleasant task. It's worse because it results in a lot of wasted time, and time is the most limited, precious resource we all have. When we procrastinate, we're not off doing other, better, more productive, and more satisfying things. Instead, we're often inventing time-wasting things to do instead of our unpleasant task. This is not time well spent. And that's the tragedy. Putting off something unpleasant to do something better would be okay. Putting it off to do something useless is a tragedy. Procrastination also results in increased stress. For as long as we delay an unpleasant task, that task is always in the back of our minds. It's a cloud that darkens our future. In fact, the longer we delay, the greater we anticipate the pain of doing the unpleasant chore, and the worse we feel. People who procrastinate often feel guilty for not having done what they know they need to do. There are other costs. People who procrastinate often have less time to do a good job on that important task when the time comes to do it. When we do finally do the necessary task, we don't do it as well. We often feel rushed when we finally do it. When we procrastinate, we sometimes break our promises or we fail to maintain good relationships with friends and family. Do you have any texts or unreturned calls in your phone? People who you know you should reach out to, but it's just been so long that you feel bad replying now? I have those. I have several. And it's not like I don't have the time to reply. I'm procrastinating and I'll regret it later. So why do we do it? The simple answer is to avoid negative emotions. It is what psychologists call a problem with self-regulation. When faced with necessary but unpleasant tasks, the procrastinator chooses to delay as a way of avoiding the pain in the short run. Now, the procrastinator might feel even worse pain in the long run, but to avoid the negative emotions, he invents other time-wasting things to do in the short run. Let's take an example. There are two people. One is named Jeff. The other is named JR. They both have two goals: to excel at work and to stay in good shape. They both have to do a report for work that they don't like. It's due tomorrow. They both decide to delay it. JR decides he'll take advantage of the time and go to the gym and do the report later. He knows he has to do it, but he's just going to get the workout in first. When he gets back home, he opens the file and starts writing. He knows it's unpleasant, but he also knows he has to do it. He went to the gym earlier, so now it's time to do the work. He buckles down, dedicates 4 hours to the task, and finishes the report on time. He does a good job. Jeff, by contrast, starts by opening the report draft. He sees the cursor blinking on the page, and that's when the negative feelings hit. He opens a browser and checks the news. Then he does a few things around the house, nothing important. He gets back to his desk, but still can't face the misery of doing the report, so he decides to clean out his inbox. Inbox zero is a great productivity hack, right? That's productive. By 9 at night, he still hasn't started. Unlike JR, he didn't get his workout in. He's been feeling the stress of the report all day and has been eating junk food to alleviate that stress. Finally, at 10 o'clock, he starts the report. He has no choice. Unfortunately, now he has to rush through it because it's so late. He goes to bed well past his bedtime, doesn't sleep well, which will affect his productivity tomorrow. Unlike JR, he didn't do a good job on the report, and he didn't get a workout in. He did useless things all day and ate junk food. Both Jeff and JR delayed the unpleasant report, but only Jeff is the procrastinator. Only Jeff failed in both his goals. And these are the true costs of procrastination. It's this situation repeated over and over, year after year, with unpleasant tasks, large and small. They're missed opportunities, they're unmet goals, unrealized potential. And this pattern of behavior intensely affects about 1/5 of the population. On Monday's lesson, we'll talk about strategies to deal with procrastination if you find yourself in this pattern yourself. Have you joined us for a live event yet? Some of you have liked them so much that you've joined us for 2, and a few people have even joined us for 3. So by now, all of you would have gotten an invitation to at least one call if, and this is a big if you're on the email list. If you're not yet on that list, you'll want to get on it by visiting plainenglish.com/mail, M-A-I-L, and you'll get invitations to future live events. Time to buckle down and get some work done. Did you hear that? What does that mean? Buckle down and get some work done. To buckle down means to do a task with focus and determination. When you buckle down, you concentrate on the task at hand. You eliminate distractions. You work hard on that one thing, and you get it done. To help you remember this, a buckle is something that keeps you in place. The part of your seatbelt that locks you in is a buckle. The part of your belt that holds the 2 ends together is your belt buckle. So when you buckle down, you hold yourself in place. You almost fasten yourself to the task. When your kids come home from school, what do? When I was a kid, I would come home and rest and relax for an hour or 2, but then I would buckle down and do my homework. I didn't like to leave it until late at night. Wait, sorry, who am I kidding? I wasn't allowed to leave it until late at night. In my house, my mom made sure I buckled down and did my homework before it got too late. I got some time to relax shortly after getting home, but after an hour or 2, I would say on most days by 4 or 5 o'clock, I had to buckle down and do my homework. That's a very specific tactical sense. You can also use buckle down in a more long-term sense. If you don't buckle down this semester, you might not graduate. This semester means this half of a school year. You don't have to do homework 24/7 this half of the year, but if you don't buckle down, in general, if you don't concentrate and study, then you'll be in trouble. I read an article asking, is this the year you buckle down and finally get that promotion at work? Is this going to be the year you do your best at work? The year you put forth your best effort? The year you waste the least time? The year you concentrate on your professional goals? Can you think of an organization that always wastes time until they have to deal with a crisis at the very last minute? If you guessed your national legislature, your Congress, your parliament, then you and I were thinking alike. Our politics in the U.S. have been very divisive of late, and it's been very hard to get any type of agreement between the two sides in our Congress. But when the scale and scope of the coronavirus became clear, lawmakers buckled down and resolved their differences and came to an agreement on a stimulus package for the economy. Lawmakers buckled down. They set aside their made-for-TV moments, for the most part, and got a bill passed. An imperfect one, if you ask me, but they got something passed that was generally positive. They buckled down and got it done. We have a new celebrity of sorts in the U.S., the 79-year-old Dr. Anthony Fauci. He is the federal government's main leader of public health, and he's the person to whom people are turning for the latest updates on the national situation with the coronavirus. 2 weeks ago, he warned us that we were going to face the worst week of the pandemic so far, and it was a bad week. During the Monday briefing, he said, "Just buckle down, continue to do the physical separation because we got to get through this week that's coming up." The song of the week is Time After Time by Cyndi Lauper. JR selected that because it appears multiple times in the movie Where'd You Go, Bernadette? Longtime listeners may remember that I read that book in Spanish a while back. The movie is available by streaming now. It's on Hulu here in the US. So if you're looking for a good English language movie, that's one for your list. Cate Blanchett stars as the protagonist, Bernadette Fox. It's a cute movie, and this is the song that Bernadette sings with her daughter Bea in the car, Time After Time by Cyndi Lauper. So thanks, JR, for selecting that song this week. That's all for now. Coming up on Monday, part 2 of today's discussion. We'll talk about what to do if you find yourself procrastinating. Not just delaying, but really procrastinating. What are the strategies to help you get over this self-destructive habit? That's coming up on lesson 254 on Monday. Thanks again to all of you who have joined us for a live event. If you have not yet joined us, get on the email list at plainenglish.com/mail, M-A-I-L, and watch your inbox for an invitation to a future event.